Sup, Andrew here, and welcome back to another of one of my YouTube videos. I know, so epic, so cool, I'm awesome, and you know it. Anyways, you probably click on this video because you want to find out what are my top 10 comedy manga recommendations are in my collection. And I got a few, so if you want to see whatever I recommend, be sure to stick around to the end of the video to find out what are my top 10 comedy mangas in my collection. Also, if you haven't already checked out my previous video where I showcased my 150 plus manga collection in the month of January, be sure to check it out. I have it posted up in the annotations right over here, so watch that video before you watch this one. Help your boy out and get more views. Anyways, let's get right into the video. Roll the intro. Alright, to start things off, I'm going to start with one of my favorite newer series that is right now being currently published with Shonen Jump, and it's no other than the Harry Potter of comedy manga, Mashle, Magic and Muscles. Now, if you like One Punch Man, then this one is up your alley. It stars Mash, who has no magic whatsoever, but he lives in a society where magic rules, and if you don't have it, you're basically an outcast. But this doesn't stop him from enrolling in magic's finest, magic school. He's basically in a class with one of the top students in the magic industry, and he basically outclasses them with his punching style, reminiscence of One Punch Man himself. It's really good fun. The comedy is over the top. He's absolutely hilarious with his deadpan faces, and it's over the top action. So if you like comedy with slapstick and you love Harry Potter, then this is a perfect manga for you. Currently, the manga has, I believe, 10 volumes released in English, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be ending anytime soon. So if you want to pick up a longer gag series that's published by Shonen Jump, then consider checking out Mashle. It's one of my favorite series right now. Anyways, speaking of one of my favorite series being published by Shonen Jump, I got another one. And that series is no other than Sakamoto Days. Now, Sakamoto Days is about a former hitman now turned convenience store owner, and it's absolutely hilarious. If you've watched Kim's Convenience, it's like that, but then it's chaos. I don't know, that's the closest thing I can think of right now, but I absolutely adore it. And overall, I feel like it's pretty underrated as a series as a whole. I don't see that many people talking about Sakamoto Days as of recently. I also like the fact that Sakamoto himself is a 40-year-old middle-aged man, so we don't really see that many old middle-aged men as the main character, so it's kind of fresh and fun to see this type of character as the main focus. So if you're gonna read any comedy manga released by Shonen Jump right now, Sakamoto Days is one to pick up, and I am sure many of you, if not all of you, will enjoy a good Sakamoto Days read. So check it out. On to the next one. Okay, now, so the next series I'm going to be recommending is pretty nostalgic to me. I read this when I was in high school, and I absolutely adored the anime and manga for this. And the series I'm going to be talking about is called The Daily Lives of High School Boys. Now, what is this manga even about? It's about a bunch of high school boys, and it's basically a gag comedy. One of my favorite scenes in the manga is when they basically wear his little sister's skirts and, you know, school clothes, and they're basically having fun, doing guy things, laughing their asses off when he wears it. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, his little sister comes unexpectedly, opens the door, and sees them wearing her clothes, and it's absolutely horror shocked and hilarious to the viewer. So if you ain't that mature yet, you like your stupid high school boy humor, then this one is absolutely hilarious. I can't tell you how many times I've laughed at the anime for this. So yeah, go check out The Daily Lives of High School Boys. It's one of my favorites. Definitely recommend this to anyone, everyone who has that type of humor like me. You just like gags. So next one. The next one is going to be a little more niche. So if you like religion, if you like religious comedies, then you're probably going to like reading this. The jokes are a little more deep, so you really have to understand the material. But we got over here the manga Saint Young Man. It's about Buddha and Jesus living their daily lives in modern day Japan. So if you're not religious and you don't know who these two characters are, this is Buddha. Basically, he's a religious figure that is worshipped in many countries like Japan, China, India, and we have Jesus over here, who he's basically worshipped, praised by many Catholics, Christians, and this manga is just pure fun. It may be sacrilegious, but I find it absolutely funny, over the top, and the jokes are quite good. The manga is also one of those gag related mangas, so you really ain't getting that much substance, but you're getting really fun interactions between the two and their overall experience in modern day Japan. So some scenes we have over here are with Buddha, and he's basically trying to go home on the public transport, and he basically comes in contact with a bunch of drunkards that are using the bus, but that because they're drunk, they don't realize, and they basically see his whatever you call it, the dot on his head, and they click it thinking it is a button to press stop. And I find that kind of funny. It might be kind of mean to someone's religion, but I find it quite fun. It's not that serious. It's quite playful, and you just want that religious comedy. You're not overly offended at when someone pokes fun of your religion, then this manga is definitely worthwhile. And it also has a movie. I haven't watched it, but I know it's really good. I've seen the scenes. It's quite funny. Yeah, go check out Saint Youngman if you love religion, if you love comedy. I really enjoy it. Next up, I have one of my favorite comedy manga series, and it's absolutely adorable, absolutely cute, and the art is incredible, and it's no other than Yotsuba, the absolute madman of a child. So what is Yotsuba? It's by the same creator of Azumanga, and a story about a little girl going about her life, doing childlike things, and that's pretty much it. But essentially, Yotsuba basically moves into a new town with her dad, and you can see the moving truck over here. And then they find out that they have neighbors who have 3 daughters, and they're going to become really important characters later on in the series as they grow big connections with the dad figure and Yotsuba herself. Yotsuba is like in elementary school, and she basically is really innocent. Over here you can see her with her little friend over here, and they're playing, and then she does the wildest things ever. You can see. Reading this, it almost makes you feel like you're living your childhood, or living someone else's childhood, and you basically get to go back and feel like a kid. Also, if you're a fan of art, Yotsuba has one of my favorite background panels and art in all of manga. For a slice of life gag manga, it has really good art. Sometimes it's like you're actually looking at a picture, and I absolutely love it. The manga's release schedule is a bit all over the place. It's still ongoing. I believe it's been going on for like 20 years or so, something like that, something really long. But the author basically puts out 1 or 2 or maybe 3 chapters every year. He doesn't want to rush the series. Basically, he publishes a new chapter whenever he wants to, but that's a little unfortunate. But whenever a new Yotsuba chapter releases, it's always great fun. Before we get into recommending more manga series, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you want to watch more anime recommendations, manga recommendations, and manga haul content. I do it all here. Consider hitting that like button down below if you enjoyed the video so far. It really helps me get boosted up into the search feed, into the YouTube algorithm. And also, in the comments, let me know what's your favorite comedy manga of all time. I really want to know in the comments down below. So yeah, let's continue on with the video. But speaking of little children and manga about them that is commonly related, I have another one. And the series we're going to be talking about is Non Biyori. I think I have to hold it like this horizontally. So the series stars our protagonist over here. I don't remember her name. She basically, let's call her the purple hair. But she basically comes from the city life, and then she moves to a rural area because her father has work here, and she meets a group of characters, 2 of which are sisters and 1 of which is a kindergartner. They all basically go to school, and they're the only kids in school in town. So because they are like basically the only kids that go to that school and only kids in town, they become really close friends, and of which Renge, this little pink character here, is sometimes the star. She's really aloof, she's really innocent, and the manga has some hilarious scenes starring her, as well as the other crew members in this series. Because this is set in like a more rural area and basically country life, you're really taking it back because they are in the rural area. They are not really exposed to city life or technology itself. So life there is pretty much really simple. They just play games. They just play with one another. Yeah, that's pretty much it. In this scene, basically, Renge and one of the city girl get trapped in a chicken coop, and I find that kind of funny. But yeah, this is quite similar to Yotsuba. I really love this series as well. So if you want to check out a more country-esque comedy gag series starring a bunch of little kids, and you want to reminisce the childlike experience, then this manga is definitely worth the read. Now, to spice things off, I got a manga over here that's kind of wild, crazy, and about a food vendor in a post-apocalyptic world. And the manga is Crazy Food Truck. So basically, there's this middle-aged man that owns a food truck in the middle of nowhere. He basically stumbles across a bag with a body, and then when he opens it, he finds a naked girl who's basically wanted for some reason. Why? We don't know. But then Gordon over here, he basically feeds her. Over the course of the story, she gets really hungry, and they capture a bunch of wild animals, and they prepare it and chef it up, cook it up to make some delicious meals. And I gotta say, some of the food in this series is quite delicious for not being real and being fake. This, however, is a short read. I believe there's only going to be 3 volumes in this series, so if you like short series, then it's probably for you. The action is over the top because, you know, people are trying to capture that young girl I'm speaking of. And yeah, the art is really good, and the food is, you know, makes me drool. But yeah, it's really good fun, really good action comedy. I recommend checking it out. If you yourself are a romance lover, if you like rom-coms, then I think this would be probably a good recommendation for you. It's called Don't Toy With Me, Nagatoro. It's kind of like Please Don't Tease Me, Takagi-san. Nagatoro basically teases her crush, who's basically this guy over here, if I can focus the camera. Sometimes it comes across as mean, but in the end, it's just playful teasing. Fun fact, the creator of this manga, Nanashi, used to make basically lolicon type of stuff. Basically hentai, basically little kid hentai. But despite that fact, he really made a really good, fun rom-com. I really like our MC. It's really cute. So yeah, for those of you who want rom-com, who like rom-com, Don't Toy With Me, Nagatoro, highly recommend it. Alright, so the next series I'm going to be recommending is a series I don't really hear being talked that often about, yet alone being talked about in the comedy scene. And it's quite old, but I think the anime is quite enjoyable. So we're going to be recommending XL Saga. So this series is about XL and her co-worker Hyatt, who basically work in this underground organization for the supreme leader / dictator El Plazo. That's kind of a mouthful, but based on that alone, I really don't know what to say. It's chaotic. It's my cup of tea. I love chaotic comedy. I love slapstick. So consider checking it out. It's good. I believe the final episode of the series is banned. It got banned across in Japan, but yeah, it didn't get aired. But anyways, it's an incredibly underrated comedy series. Go check out XL Saga. It's It's really something, and I think many of you will enjoy it for what it is worth. And finally, one of my favorite mangas in my collection, old classic, that's about a gangster that turns into a teacher. We got over here great teacher Onizuka, also known as GTO. So basically over here we have Onizuka, who's basically tired of the street gang member, and he wants to turn his life around and do something more productive since he's already 22 and getting older. So he decides he wants to become a high school teacher because he wants to get closer to younger girls. Not something I recommend doing to get into that profession, but that's his reasoning. But despite the grooming behavior and the sexualization of younger girl students, it is a fantastic read if you love comedy. Trust me, if you haven't read this series, you will be laughing on the floor. It has the best faces in all of manga. It really does. Look at this. Look at the faces. The art is impeccable. The comedy is impeccable. And all in all, it's a great story about someone who lived a former delinquent life and turned into something more productive. The original series is 25 volumes long. It's a classic hit. It also has other prequel series like GTO Early Years and also more other series. But other than that, fantastic manga to get into. Highly recommend it. Go check out the anime if you haven't already. Anyways, guys, that is the top 10 comedy manga in my collection. So if you made it to the end of the video, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Let me know what your favorite comedy mangas in this video or in general. And stay tuned for the next video. All my socials are down below, so also be sure to follow them. And if you want to check out more videos by me, check out my YouTube channel. I have many manga content there. Anyways, guys, see you in the next video. Bye-bye.